Hello everybody, and welcome to the tutorial for my own song, Drifting Away, off the album Cognition Unearthed. It's been a while, so I had to reteach it to myself to make the tutorial. So it's in drop C, so I'll put that information up on the screen. And without further ado, we're gonna go through the song chronologically. So the first riff is based around thirds. And if you don't know what thirds are, they sound like this. If you like how that sounds, I'd recommend doing some research on that. But for this tutorial, I'll just go through the shapes. The first one. So if you're in drop C, it'll sound like that. And the picking pattern, which is consistent throughout pretty much, goes like this. So I'll get closer and then I'll explain it. So it just repeats, so that makes it pretty simple. So we start on the fifth string, then fourth, then third, then fourth, then second, then third, then first, then second. If I remembered all that, I'll be impressed. Hold on. Yep, that's correct. Wow. So that just repeats over and over. And a little bit of palm muting. You don't want it all to be. No. A little bit of palm muting. Again. So that does twice for the same shape. And then we change shape, but the picking pattern stays the same. So in this case, we just slide everything up 2 frets. That's the wonderful thing about thirds. And same thing, same deal with the open strings. And now we just slide up again, because we did it twice. But this time, it isn't this, because that sounds like garbage. It's actually this. So that's just ring finger on the 10th fret of the 5th string and middle finger now on the 9th fret of the 4th string. And that's a major third. Whereas these two were minor thirds. They kind of sound sad. So so far we have these 3 shapes. And now we just go back down. Now instead of going back up, we're gonna go down even further from our starting shape to this major third, which ring finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string and middle finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. So, but instead of doing that picking pattern twice here, we're only going to do it once and then go down again 2 frets. Again, only once. And now we're going to go to a completely different shape. It's like a power chord. But this time the picking pattern changes. So I'll just play through and then explain it. So. As you can hear, it's kind of hard to get it clean, especially when I'm doing it slowly. But basically, your ring finger is just going to bar the top 3 strings here. Technically bottom. You know what I mean. Just as if it was a power chord, you know. And but we have to leave room for this open 3rd string to ring out, so you can't mute that with the back of your ring finger. That's what makes it somewhat difficult. And the picking pattern here is 6th string, 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, 3rd string, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string. Well, I remembered it again. So. Again, so twice, and then we change shape just put down your middle finger, the one before it, and it's doing exactly what the ring finger is doing, but just on this fret now. And that's it. After that, it repeats itself, but it's the same. Yep, the last string there was wrong. So yeah, that's the main riff of this song. And over top of that, once it repeats after this the first time, after it does that, it's gonna do a lead part over that, which I'll show now. Let's get a little closer. So it's really simple. I say that and then I'm like, ah. Anyway, it is actually simple. I'm not lying to you. So we have index finger on the 9th fret of the 3rd string. And the whole time we're doing this is just going to be that picking, just down, up, down, up, down, up in that format, pretty much. So it goes like this, just on the 3rd string and the 2nd string. So at the 3rd time, we do something a little different. After it hits this, we go down to the 7th fret here. So that's an instance where the picking's a little different. So we come down to this note on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and then we just let it ring a little bit, and then it picks up. Slide down again to the 2nd fret, and then immediately come with your ring finger to the 4th again, and prepare to hammer on with your pinky because I'm mean. So hammer on from the 4th to the 5th on the 3rd string here, and then play the 2nd string open. So I believe that's 5 times. Let me count. Yeah, that's 5. And then we just slide up to end on this 9th fret here. All right, so now we're on to the verse, which is basically just a transition period. Nothing too fancy going on here. So it's just down, up, picking pretty fast on the bottom string here. Like that, and the notes that are being played are as follows, all on the 6th string. And that just repeats, and the only thing I really need to explain there is at the end it goes. So that's pretty fast, but aside from that, it's pretty simple, and it just ends like that. After it repeats, and then we're on to the solo, which does have some underlying chords, pretty simple, but I'm gonna get into the solo itself first, and then I'll talk about the chords underneath it, because that's actually how I write. Usually when I'm writing my own stuff, I come up with the solo first, and then figure out what chords work underneath it. It's kind of weird, but whatever. So it starts off with this arpeggio shape all the way up here, so just as a reference point, my 12th fret is this one with the writing on it. So that makes this one the 9th. And the solo, and there's other parts in the song too, that the bass of it is around this arpeggio here. I use this a ton. For example, Bleeding Dreams. There you go, a little something extra for you guys. So here it is slowly, and then I'll dissect it. And that's all I'm going to show for now, because it goes away from that, so we can take this apart. So we're starting on the third string on the 9th fret. So we're gonna play this downstroke and almost like it's a sweep, but not that fast. Onto the 2nd string, 10th fret. And now 1st string, this is the 8th fret. And then with our pinky here, it's a bit of a stretch if you're not used to it, but going all the way up to this 12th fret here. So once we get here, we up pick on the top string here. And now this, without picking it, slides up to the 15th fret. And from there, we pick it and slide up again to the 17th fret. So. And now we pull off to back down to the 12th fret. So. That I guess you can practice that on itself. But after this, it goes to the 2nd string on the 13th fret. And now 3rd string on the 14th fret. Now back up to the 1st string, 15th fret, 14. Now 2nd string, 12th fret. And now hopping a string to the 4th string on the 14th fret. I think, let me double check. Yep, that's correct. And now we go to the 3rd string in the middle here on the 12th fret, slide down to 11, and now hit the 12th fret of the 4th string. And now come up with, holding this here, come up with your index finger to the 10th fret of the top 1st string here, so that these both ring out. And then once you get that far, you can practice that on its own. So. At full speed, it's and then from here we're gonna tap, but it's an easy tap. So I like to use my middle finger and hold the pick with these 2 fingers because this one's free. Tap on the 17th fret because you can't really get up there. I mean, if you're a mad lad, but tap like that, and then pull off with your tapping finger to the 15th fret, which is held by the pinky here. Wait, hold on. No, not the 15th fret, it's the 14th fret, excuse me. So. Darn it. And then after this, play the 12th fret of the 1st string. So, oops. And after that, that's kind of like a group of 3 notes. So after that, we have another group of 3 notes. So we're going to come up here to the 17th fret, bend up a whole step so it hits this note. So it's like a ghost bend. So we start up bending and then we bend down. And then we hit the 14th fret, that 15th fret of the 2nd string. So, and then another group of 3 notes, which would be starting on the 15th fret. Ghost bend again up. Oops. And actually, you should play this like. So all together from this part, it would be. And then this note is actually the start of the next measure. So they're just, they're 2-string arpeggios. So we're going to start here on the 17th fret of this, the note that I said, and then we're going to play 2 notes on the highest string. So like that. And repeat that 4 times, I think. Nope, only twice. So, and then the 3rd time, it's, you're gonna go up with your pinky all the way to the 22nd fret. And if you don't have this fret on your guitar, I'm very sorry. I don't know what to say. If you don't have this fret on your guitar, just do something like, I don't know. That's one time where you can blame your gear. Okay, so. So at the end there, that's just a slide down from the, I don't even know what this fret is, and I don't feel like counting, so that's the 12th. So it's kind of the same pattern, it's very repetitive, and then we go down to a different arpeggio down here on the 15th fret here. So this is a major arpeggio, so after the 15th fret we're doing the 14th of the 1st, and then the 17th of the 1st. And then we come up here with our pinky like we did earlier, but this time it's to that note. Oh, wow, that was embarrassing. You know what? It's jazz. Should be that note. And that would slide down, but the way I composed it, you really want to just pull off to have your index finger there, because we're going to be going up real high now. So I think now's as good a time as any to backtrack and get this to be manageable. So it goes like this. After we do this, we're going to come here to the 20th fret of the 2nd string. And same thing as before, it's a major arpeggio up here, so it's just like, so we just put that up here. And yes, we are going to hit the legendary 24th fret. If you don't have it, I'm sorry. And instead of coming back down to that like I just did, we're actually going to substitute our ring finger in here and play the 21st fret. Kind of gives it a diminished feel. So. '20th. And then I believe it's, nope. So after the 20th, it's the 19th. And then from 19, slide down to 17. No, not 17. Slide down to 15. And then 17. And that's the end of the solo. Amazing. You made it. Or not. So now I'm going to play it full speed, solo, from the top. And if you guys want it slowed down to half speed or 0.75, you have that option in YouTube. So that's that. All right. So those underlying chords for the solo, we're going to tackle those now. So first up is my favorite chord. If you want to impress me, you better learn this immediately. Nothing's going on the 6th string, but on the 5th string and the 4th string, we have them fretted on the 7th fret. And then with our index fingers on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And then we let the top 2 strings ring out. So that's what we do in the song. We just go. And then we hit the top 3 strings in order, well, backwards order. And then we go to our next shape, which is like a major shape. So everything's on the 7th fret here. You can do it with your index finger like this if you're a weirdo, but let's be honest, the real men use it like this. And then again, just picking the top 3 strings. And now we go back to that first shape that I taught you at the beginning of this video. Strum it, and then back to that major. So that's 4 in total, but the one's just the same as you know. So then we get to some galloping down here with power chords. So you're just barring the bottom strings. So first on the 2nd fret, so, and then open. So it's just repeating, so. And I use my pinky for this because I'm weird, but I mean, I guess you could. It's on the 5th fret. And now we do the 6th fret because I don't like staying in the key apparently. And it ends with bum bum. And then we hit the 9th fret of the 6th string, open 3rd string, and then 9th fret of the 5th string. So much tension. And then we do a sweep into the chorus. And this is where the solo ends. And just for reference, this galloping starts when you start doing this in the solo. So you can go back and listen to the song. You'll clearly hear it. So that's that. That is the solo area done. And now we're going to move on to the chorus. I guess I should teach you that first, because that is going to be a repeating theme. And it is a sweep, and it is fast. So chances are you might not be able to do it. So if that's the case, Trevor, I'm calling you out, man. So if that's the case, you're going to want to hit the 17th fret of the 1st string here, and the 16th fret of the 4th string. So it would just be... It kind of achieves the same thing, but it's not as cool. So the sweep is... Whereas you would just do... Or maybe... Because the real hard part is just the sweep. But yeah, you're just lucky I'm not teaching you like totemless space. So once you get this down, I mean, that's pretty much half the chorus, whatever method you do. And the rest of it is just going to be starting off here like this. And it's really repetitive, but this shape, this chord here is just a power chord on, well, this is the 12th fret, remember. And so this would be the 14th fret. That's a power chord, and then what the big boys do is they put their pinky here, and that makes it a minor. So that would be on the 17th fret. And you can do this wherever. That's the great thing about power chords is... But in this song, it's right here. And I call these chugs. I don't know what they're actually called. I think they're chugs, but I've been calling them chugs for years, so I will continue to do that. So it goes... And then after that, it does this. Oh, no. There we go. So. And then on that down beat, we're gonna actually change shape from this to this, which is another one of my favorite chords. So again, take notes, please, and learn to play this. It sounds kind of bad on its own, but trust me, it is so useful, even more so than this one. This one's my favorite, but this one is more useful. I see it everywhere, and I play it everywhere. So it's just, well, I mean, you can shift it all around, so I don't want to confine you to this one place. But just to learn it, it's on the 14th fret of the 5th string, the 16th fret of the 4th string, and the 12th fret of the 3rd string. So it's just these 3 strings here. And that's some dissonance. So it goes. And that last shape is easier. You're just keeping the middle finger where it was, and you're putting your index finger on the 13th fret of the 4th string. And this is those two notes. You're muting everything else. So the chorus in its entirety, I think you're ready to hear it. So. And we just end on this. I did mess up this a couple times, but it is kind of difficult. So moving on, I forget what's next. Oh yes, main riff. Again, everything's the same except for the end. Instead of coming down to this one at the end, we're gonna go to the E minor chord, which isn't an E minor because we're in drop C. It's a D minor, whatever. So that's just substituting this. So from here, we're gonna go to the E minor shape, which you all should know if you don't, look it up. And then after we do that twice, we're gonna just replace our ring finger here that's on the 4th string with our index finger on the 4th string again, just a fret lower. And if you like how that sounds, that's harmonic minor. Great. It's the best key. It's the best scale, in my opinion. And it also slows down here. And that's that. So that's how the second main riff ends. And then I don't want to say it goes into another solo, but it's like a solo. It's just more repetitive. And it draws on the same beginning as the actual solo that we did earlier. But it doesn't go everywhere. It's not crazy. So it does that, and it just repeats a ton. But first, I'm going to see if I can change the tempo right now on my click track, because we're going from 150 to 160. Did that work? I think it did. It's not a big difference, but hey. So, this is the part where everything kind of breaks, drops out, and then you hear the creepy keys in the background. And that repeats. So that's it. It just repeats like, is it 4 times? It might be 2, or it's 4, I don't know. But you learned this already. Now it's just 10 beats per minute faster to make your life horrible. Wait. It's all the same. It's all the same, I promise. And then instead of coming to this, instead of doing all that weird stuff, we're gonna hit that note, which is again the harmonic minor. Wonderful. So instead of the 12th fret, we're actually shifting up a note to the 13th fret. then from here we slide up to the 16th. Yep. And then we bend a half step up and then back down. It repeats itself. Back up to this, but instead of bending, we're going to keep our ring finger here and with our index finger play the 12th fret of the 3rd string and have them both ring out at the same time. So that's just straight up dissonance. And then on the last time, we're going to take our ring finger off and plop down our middle finger on the 13th fret. And the reason that sounds good, at least in my opinion, is because this is... okay, I'm getting into music theory. But this is the flat 3 and the 2. And then this is the harmonic minor note. We're just building up so much tension until we finally play that note, which just releases everything and it repeats itself. So if you want to make a repeating riff, I guess this is a riff, possibly, I don't know. All you have to do is make it so that at the end of each cycle, it just builds up so much tension, and then have the beginning release it all. Tension, tension, release, and it just drives it to keep going. So if there's nothing else you take away from this, please learn this, because it is like one of my go-to riffs just for noodling around or for warming up. The underlying chords of that, I should say, very repetitive, but it is a kind of tricky. So we're gonna play A minor. It isn't technically A minor because we're in drop C again, but it's that shape. And if you don't know the shape, look it up. All right, so we're gonna do down, kind of like so. I should sing, but we're gonna do that. But in between each down strum, we're gonna do an up strum on the top string. So it's like a lot of muting is going on. Every time I go down, everything else mutes. So that itself is pretty easy, but the tricky part comes when our pinky here gets busy. And so every other down strum, we're going to alternate the root note. So, and the pinky's just going up and down on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So. And then after we do that 4 times, like I just did, we're going to change our shape from an A minor to an E minor. Very, very easy change here. And now that it's an E minor, you can unmute the 6th string. Oh, wait, never mind. Never mind, we're in drop tuning. So always have this muted. And even though we're in E minor now, the pinky's doing exactly the same thing as it was. This is another example of building up tension, actually. Tension, 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 tension. And it ends on that release, and it just keeps going. Well, it ends with the tension, and then it starts again with the release. So yeah, that is it. That is it for the solo part, the second solo, I'm gonna call it. And after this, there's like a 1 second break where everything dies out. Then we get into a part where the rhythm guitar just carries. So I'm gonna play it quickly and then dissect it. Here we go. Before I start, I'm just gonna say, it's all on the 6th string, the lowest, and the 4th string. So we're not playing the string in between, the 5th string, and we're not playing the top 3 at all in the beginning. So here we go. So once you get this, it's pretty much the easiest part of the song, I'd say. It just gets fast. So yeah, I made a slight mistake there, but it just gets fast. So if you practice that, you'll be able to do it. It's easy to learn though. It's easy to play slow. So starting on the 6th string, hammer on to the 2nd, and then there's just this. That's just dry. And then 4th string. It's just 5th fret to 4th fret. And that just repeats. And then we come up here, and instead of hammering on to the 2nd fret, we're going to hammer on to the 12th. And then this is just 17th to 16th on the 4th fret. An octave of that. So you can tell the strumming is just repetitive like crazy, and pretty much everything else. It's just the speed you got to work to. And it does end a little differently, so. So after that does it a couple times, I forget when, you can go back and listen. It's so easy to catch. So we're gonna take it from, once that repeats, we're gonna do, so from the 9th fret. So same rhythm, but we're taking the 9th fret and we're hammering on to the 10th. And now the 4th fret's job is to, the 4th string's job is to take from the 12th fret to the 10th fret. And then once we hit these, it goes down to the 7th fret power chord. I like that change. Anyway, so it just strums that down, and then we're gonna place, once that's down and strummed, we're gonna place our pinky here to make it minor, just like we did for the chorus. That same shape, which is why I said before, you can use it anywhere. It's down here. So. And that at the end that I just played is just minor. Now we put our ring finger right behind our pinky, take our pinky off. And then after that, it does, hold on. Yes, so we slide our pinky down, mute everything else, and place our index finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. This is dissonance. I forget what it's called. People call it like alien noises, and it sounds so bad on its own. But in when you need tension in a song, it's so useful. So yeah, this just goes. And that high, those 2 high notes that you hear are on the second string here. So these aren't changing. I'm just adding my middle finger to the 7th fret of the 2nd string and my ring finger to the 8th fret of the 2nd string. So. And if that rhythm feels odd to you, that's because it is. I believe it's 7/8. Hold on, let me check. 7. I have it here as 7/4. And then like a beat of 4. It's weird, but that's what it is. And then it repeats. at the end of that second cycle, it just those two notes. And then that's like the bridge area. I'd consider that the bridge. That's that done, and then we go into the chorus again. So this is actually a tempo change, which is why it feels awesome and weird. So if you recall, we changed it from 150 to 160. I hope I actually did change it. I'm gonna change it back now, because the chorus hits and the chorus is back down to 150. So yeah. Okay, that should work. Yes. Okay. So yeah, chorus, same thing, same exact thing. Like that after a little while, after a couple repeats, and then it's just left with the lead. And the lead is how do I say this? The lead has been going on in the chorus this whole time. I just haven't shown it yet because the outro of the song is the lead isolated. So I'm going to teach you this outro, and then just understand that this series of notes is playing underneath or on top of the chorus the entire time of the song. So it goes. All on the highest string. That's the second string, 12th fret. And that is that. That is the song. Whew, congratulations.